pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Collins. Baloo.
Here.
Canton.
Here.
Van. Here. Amstutz. Here. Buxton. Here. There are two separate meeting minutes. The first is from Tuesday, January 21st, standard regular council meeting. Any amendments to those minutes? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. The second was for the work session on 1/27/25. Any amendments to those minutes?
Somebody was asking about the time that we adjourned one of those meetings.
I didn't have, that's one thing I didn't write down is when we adjourned, and I didn't know. Did you write it on your?
I may have it on mine. I can look at my records.
That's fine.
Yeah.
7:43. 7:43?
And I think it's a little bit later. But yeah.
Like 9 or something.
Yeah. I think I have it written. I'll check.
That's fine.
Yeah. Barring the exit time, any other amendments? No. It's approved. Takes us to public speak. Sue.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Are you at liberty to explain the reason Bill Garman was released from the service department?
Mr. Garman was a probationary employee, and we just elected to move in a different direction.
Is he being replaced?
We are currently, it's on the agenda tonight to talk about possibly adding 2 part-time employees.
Are you at liberty to explain why the most recent police officer resigned?
There was nothing listed in his resignation letter as to why he formally resigned.
Bill's release, is there, and again, not knowing what happened, is there a protocol that you follow, like maybe reprimanding him, teaching him more? Did that have anything to do with his release?
When you have someone that's a probationary employee, sometimes you just want to move in a different direction. Doesn't necessarily mean they did anything wrong or anything like that, but that's why you have a probationary period where you can see if that person's the right fit for the position, see if the position's and the village meets that person's needs as well. So it's like a feeling out period, and sometimes you just decide to go in a different direction, and that's what happened in that case.
Do you feel hiring the new, this has nothing to do with Bill, do you feel hiring the new police chief will have a change with the hiring of part-time or full-time officers and the resigning of full-time or part-time officers? Because there seems to be a trend.
Yeah. I don't want to speak for the incoming chief Hartlaw, but what I will say is that he is from a village of a similar size to ours. He does have a pay scale very similar at that village to what we have here. They have a little bit different philosophy there. Of course, changing the way a staffing philosophy will have to be something that's discussed with myself and council prior to implementing. But I don't want to speak for what he's going to introduce until he has a chance to feel out the department. We definitely recognize that we have to make some changes because the current way is kind of like spinning in mud. And we're not getting traction. So the need for change is apparent. It's just I don't want to speak for the individual until he had a chance to feel for himself what needs done.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Takes us to committee reports. Service.
Under buildings, install smoke and carbon dioxide detectors. Carbon monoxide detectors throughout Village Hall. New batteries and exit signs throughout Village Hall. 2 new furnaces were replaced within Village Hall. The old ones were from 2002, so they definitely needed to be replaced. They control the police department's heat, the front office heat, and council chambers. New roofs on the service garage, service office, upper pavilion at Park, and finish the steel roof down on the restroom storage building at the park is scheduled for this spring. More under parks, the playground equipment is scheduled to be installed on the 28th through the 30th. Under zoning, the couch on West Nassau has been removed. Under water, replace the broken copper pipe on number 2 pump down at the pump house. On roads, we're aware of many potholes through town. It's just a matter of getting the proper weather and the time to work on them. And under other, oh, sorry, I'll go back to roads. I've talked with North Star, who's going to be doing the paving on Center Street project. And we're talking with them. I'm going to try to implement our paving within the village at the same time they're doing Center, so they can stay in town with their equipment. Should work out best for both of us. That's looking around May to get that done. So under other, I've talked with the mayor and Kurt, and I've made the recommendation to enter into a service agreement with DL Supplies, which is in the works, along with reducing the service department by a full-time employee and adding 2 part-time employees. This will be significant cost savings for the village. I believe that these numbers have been presented to you as council members. A lot of this stuff you guys probably know from your meetings. So, went through 2 days of interviews. I'm going to recommend to hire Mr. Thomas Cordray and Mr. Troy Burek for part-time service employees. I'm asking the council raise the wages on part-time water and service employees hourly rate to $20. This would include water clerk and tax clerk. I'd also like to give a big thanks to Physical Officer Geis and Mayor Spencer and Mr. Hall for all the time and efforts they've been through this process of getting new employees and moving forward with this contract and all the stuff that's been going on the last 2 weeks. So it's pretty smooth.
So who we hiring?
We're Mr. Thomas and Mr. Troy Burek.
Who are these? What I'm asking.
One's from East Canton, one's from Louisville. One's got plow experience with a little bit of skid steer experience also. The other one was plow with no skid experience. Both seem real ambitious, like they're ready to tackle. They understand what it calls for in the middle of the night. So,
Has any of them ever worked pipe or?
no. Landscaping, the one guy worked landscaping. So, but with part-time, it's probably kind of hard to. We went through a lot of different resumes, and we only interviewed probably only 4 or 5 showed up total.
Yeah.
Out of the 6 or 7 we scheduled. So,
Did you get anybody with experience that showed up or no?
no, not really. The one we exited for certain reasons.
No.
I'm not at liberty to talk about that.
Yeah.
Why?
The one night we had 4 interviews scheduled and only 1 showed up.
Next day we had 3?
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
So I think I've had a total of 7 scheduled and ready to go, but we had a total of 4.
People didn't show.
We even called them, gave them 15 minutes after we tried calling, they didn't answer. So
Gotcha. So you feel these guys will be able to do it?
I do. I
Okay.
believe that they can be trained and they seem like ambitious and they're ready to get going. I mean, one guy's got all his stuff turned in, already went for his drug test, got all his paperwork turned in. So they're on.
Yeah, all those requests, Henry, are in the judicial as well, so the council will be picking that up through the process.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are those the individuals you're requesting a increase in the wage for that department, or those?
It would be the entire department part-time wages. So anybody that works for the service and water department and the 2 ladies that work in the front desk, which that's why I said water clerk and the tax clerk.
Yeah.
So basically the whole department.
We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it in the work session. Yeah.
How do you schedule them to work 20 hours? You work
I'm looking at
4 or 5?
4-hour splits. 4-hour splits. So it'd be 7 to 11. Would it be 8 to 11 and 10 to 2? 8 to noon.
Yeah.
8 to noon, 10 to 2.
It's
So
4
just kind
hours.
of split it all up throughout the day. Yeah. So at least we have overlap in case something will happen.
And Henry did a good job with explaining the requirements. Middle of the night, you get a call for spreading salt, you got to be there. And then one gentleman lives in town. He was very enthusiastic about the opportunity. And as Henry mentioned, the second candidate actually owned his own business for a while, did salt plowing and all of that. Reputable, so could be two good additions.
Any other questions? All right, I'll stick around for a little bit longer. I gotta go out on a water break, so. See how long it lasts. If I can stick around and lock up, I will. If not, I leave. Excuse me on that, please. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks, sir.
No problem.
We do not have a representative from safety here tonight. As you all know, we are short-staffed in the PD. Sergeant Crouch welcomed a new addition to his family, so we want to congratulate he and his significant other on that.
Theodore.
Anything else for safety? Any questions, concerns?
Still waiting for our signs to come in, right, or the shipping for the signs?
They're here. They're here. We just gotta get good weather to put them out.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're up.
When's our new chief?
the 18th.
The 18th?
Oh, that pushed back.
I pushed it to the 18th because I'm not here next week. I'm in Europe, so I wanted to make sure I was here his first day.
I'm assuming you reached out to him and
All good?
you're excited?
I'm sorry, it's the 17th, not the 18th. I apologize. Yeah. Yeah, very excited. Yeah, he's looking forward to it. He's already scheduled his background, all that normal stuff, and the I don't know if we got anything for the physical yet.
I think he's doing that stuff tomorrow.
Okay, but yeah, I know he had put a schedule in for it, but I didn't know for
I
sure.
think it was for tomorrow. Him and I had talked, and I believe he said it was Tuesday.
Okay.
I know he hasn't taken his drug test yet, so I know he
Right.
hasn't been down there.
So everything seems to be progressing well. All right, takes us to judicial.
Yeah, Kurt, if you could read those.
I can, I mean, it's not a big deal.
It's not here.
All right, we've got 2 resolutions and 3 ordinances to go. Resolution 2025, this is basically just a resolution accepting the donation from Paul Van to be used in the police department. Resolution 2025-03, resolution of the Village of East Canton, whereas the Village of East Canton council member Paul Van wishes to donate $2,600 to the Village of East Canton. This amount equals a portion of his 2024 salary for serving in the capacity of a village council person and would like to donate it back to the Village of East Canton to be used by the East Canton Police Department within the discretion of Police Chief Christopher Hartlaub. And now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal officer of the Village of East Canton, upon the approval by council, shall accept the donation from Mr. Van to be receipted into the East Canton Police Department fund to be used within the discretion of Police Chief Christopher Hartlaub.
So moved.
Second.
I have to abstain, don't I?
Yes, you have to abstain. Yeah. All right. Roll call, Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Amsterdam. I'm sorry. I gotta ask you. Stan.
Abstain.
Amsterdam.
Yay.
Buxton.
Yay.
This one here is a resolution basically allowing the state of Ohio ODOT to come in within the village limits to resurface US 30. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's just a lot of verbiage, but I'll read the first part of it. Resolution 2025-04. The following is a resolution enacted by the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, herein referred to as the Local Public Authority, or the LPA. Whereas the LPA and state has identified the need for the described project resurfacing of US 30 within the Village of East Canton. Now therefore be it ordained by the Village of East Canton of Stark County, Ohio. Being in the public interest, the LPA gives consent to the Director of Transportation to complete the above described project. The LPA shall cooperate with the Director of Transportation in the above described project as follows. The state shall assume and bear 100% of all the cost of the improvement. The LPA, which would be the Village of East Canton, further agrees to pay 100% of the cost of those features requested by the LPA, which are determined by the State and Federal Highway Administration to be unnecessary for the project.
So moved.
Second.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yay.
Dawson.
Yay.
Second reading of ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance appointing Charles D. Hall, Solicitor, Charles D. Hall III, Solicitor for the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, and establishing the rate of compensation. Be it ordained by the Council of the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, Section 733.48, when it considers it necessary that the legislative authority of the village may provide legal counsel for the village or for any department or official of the village for a period not to exceed 2 years, and shall provide compensation for the legal counsel. The administrator and the mayor for the Village of East Canton recommend that effective January 1st, 2025, Attorney Charles D. Hall III, Hall Law Firm, be appointed as solicitor for a period not to exceed 2 years and at a rate of compensation of $20,000 per year, payable in 12 equal consecutive monthly payments of $1,667 per month. Members of the Village of East Canton Council approves by a majority vote that effective immediately that Attorney Charles D. Hall III, Hall Law Firm Incorporated, be appointed as village solicitor effective immediately and for a period not to exceed 2 years and at a rate of compensation $20,000 per year, payable in 12 equal consecutive monthly payments in $1,667 per month. The village fiscal officer is hereby authorized to do all things legal and necessary to finalize the appointment of the solicitor of the Village of East Canton. Be it further ordained, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yay.
Dawson.
Thank you.
Now, this one here, Charlie, I'm gonna have to get with you because one of the ordinance numbers in the heading of this one isn't a complete number. So we'll have to get this right before the final draft. Ordinance 2025-04, an ordinance to amend ordinances 2004-02. I thought it was 2014-16, but I'm not sure. It might be 2004-16. And 2013-07, and to implement an hourly pay rate adjustment for the Village of East Canton part-time employees. Be it hereby ordained by the Council of Village of East Canton, whereas the mayor and the Village Council Finance Committee recommends that the village pay period be realigned to adjust the hourly pay rate for all part-time employees of the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, to remain competitive with other local political subdivisions and to aid in recruiting quality employees for the Village of East Canton. And now therefore be it ordained by the Council of East Canton, County of Stark, State of Ohio, that part-time employee amended hourly pay rate, a one-time correcting adjustment, effective for the payroll period beginning February 9th, 2025, and thereafter the hourly pay rate shall be $20 per hour for all part-time East Canton employees. Other than as specifically set forth herein, all other pay rates and payroll policies and procedures shall remain unchanged. Be it further ordained that it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained that this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, and shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and at the earliest date allowable by law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Dawson.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call. Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Ordinance 2025-04 by title only. An ordinance to amend ordinances 2004-02, 2004-16, and 2013-07, and to implement an hourly pay rate adjustment for the Village of East Canton part-time employees.
Second.
Roll call Blue.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Ordinance 2025-05. An ordinance to appoint Thomas Cordray and Troy Burrick as a part-time employee with the Village of East Canton Service Department and to establish their hourly rate of pay at $20 per hour. Be it ordained by the Council of the Village of East Canton, State of Ohio. The East Canton Village Council, Stark County, Ohio, upon the recommendation of the East Canton Village Administrator, does hereby authorize and approve the appointment of Thomas Cordray and Troy Burrick as part-time employees with the Village of East Canton Service Department, effective upon their passing a drug test at an hourly rate of $20 per hour, and with all the prerequisites of a part-time Service Department employee as set forth in the East Canton Village Employees Handbook. The hiring shall be on a 1-year probationary period, and council does hereby further authorize the East Canton Village Fiscal Officer to do all things necessary to accomplish the purpose and the intent of this ordinance. The village fiscal officer is hereby authorized to draw warrants on the village treasury for payments for any of the respective appropriations and accounts for salaries or wages for persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. Be it further ordained, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained that this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, and shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and at the earliest date allowable by law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call Blue.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Motion to suspend rules.
Second.
Roll call Blue.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Ordinance 2025-05 by title only, third and final reading. An ordinance to appoint Thomas Cordray and Troy Burrick as part-time employees with the Village of East Canton Service Department and to establish their hourly rate of pay at $20 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call Blue.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton. Anything else for judicial tonight? Thank you, fiscal officer, guys, for reading all that.
Yeah, thank you.
Takes us to grants. Anything for grants for tonight?
I was going over the minutes of the meeting last week, and I guess the discussion was tabled.
Yeah.
For my appearance here. There are only 4 people that replied to my query, and I think the first 2 on the list that I sent out seem to have the most experience, but at some point, we're going to have to contact them to at least talk with them over the phone in some fashion. What I'd like to do is get the grant committee together for a work session and go over the particulars with them. Because also I'm not the most computer literate person in the world when it comes to surfing sites and knowing what to do. And eventually a fee is going to have to be, a finder's fee, I guess it is, it's going to have to be paid. So if I get together with the grant committee, we can map out exactly who it is we want and what it's going to cost to move forward with them.
When would you like to get together?
At your convenience, I got an open
So we all
schedule.
members of the grant committee.
Yourself, Mr. Buckton, Council President Blue, and Councilman Amstutz.
So
If we want to do,
you pick an evening next week sometime. I will be here with bells on.
I think there's a standing work session for Monday already, I believe. Did you all, I thought you all had already scheduled one for Monday.
I don't think we did. I think we were just going to talk when.
Okay.
Well, Monday would be fine with
Okay,
me.
not scheduled yet, okay.
I know.
Monday the 10th?
Yeah,
That we're thinking? Okay,
Monday the 10th, 7 p.m.
that works for me.
Okay.
10 a.m.
No, PM. No.
7 p.m.
7.
Yeah, it's Monday,
Monday.
10th, yeah.
So we're gonna list it as a grants committee work session, 7 PM. Gotcha.
That works.
Okay.
Just a reminder, I am out of the country next week, so I'm sure you all can handle it. I just want to make sure you know I'm not here, that's all.
Yeah, this is just the only thing we're going to be reviewing. is
Right.
the grant stuff.
Anything else for grants? Takes us to finance.
Finance, I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices, in the amount of $57,286.72. As presented by the
Second.
Roll call, Blue.
Yay.
Concho.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yay. And I've got 2 different pay periods as well. So this is end of December 29th to 24 to January 11th to 25, payroll in the amount of $18,156.28. That's presented by Fiscal Officer Geis.
Second.
Roll call, Blue.
Yay.
Concho.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yay.
Buxton.
Yay. And also the payroll, January 12th through the 25th, in the amount of $19,941.91. Make a motion to approve that one as well.
Second.
Roll call, Blue.
Yay.
Concho.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
Yay.
Meeting packet, Fiscal Officer Geis presents council with the temporary appropriations report. Let's let know if you have questions regarding. Anything else for finance?
No, I don't have anything else for finance.
Thank you, Councilman Buxton. Takes us to other. I had one question for council. Technically, 2 weeks from tonight is President's Day, which is a national holiday. Would you want to have the council meeting on that national holiday, or would you like to postpone it until Tuesday? On the meeting schedule, on the meeting calendar, I have it scheduled for that Monday, being that's not a closed day for the village. But I wanted to put that in front of council for discussion.
My vote would be to do the following Tuesday, the 18th. That's just my opinion.
I'm with 18.
I'm good with that.
Everybody in agreement?
The schedule, it's on the website as well, isn't it?
I'll put it up just in case it's not, but when I put it up, I'll adjust it to the 18th. That way it's adjusted on there as well. I know we have it hanging by the front door, but we'll get it adjusted.
We updated that was still the 2024 one this past weekend.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I sent it, that was my fault. I sent it into Penny and Sandra, but I didn't ask them to specifically change out front. I can do that.
I can make a copy.
Yeah.
Do it. It's not a big
Right.
deal. I just,
That was my mistake. I should have.
and I can tell Bill to change the meeting time until the 18th rather than the 17th. when I
Yeah.
send the notice to him.
That sounds good.
I'll take care of that also.
Anything else for other?
I've got a question about the planning and zoning for the 24th. Is there anything scheduled for that as of right now?
We have nothing pending currently.
I'm just wondering if we should still, because it's the first one of the year. I
Right.
wonder if we should still.
I'm more than happy to hold it. It's just whether I can send out the notice to all the attendees just to see, make sure we have enough to actually hold, you know.
I mean, the only thing I can think of right now is that new zoning person that we're
Yeah.
talking about as first. And you're taking over that role.
Yeah, we can bring that up and at least discuss it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Can you post it if you want to have something like that
Absolutely.
with the rest of the planning? No.
I will copy you on the email. We'll see what the response is.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Anything else for other?
Do you want to talk about potential changes to the handbook?
Yeah, so you're right, I did send the unedited version.
Yeah.
So I'll send that out to everybody. Solicitor Hall brought up a good point, this should be talked about in committee. So I'll send what I recommend to everyone. You all can feel free to rip it apart, put it back together as a committee, as a council, and then work through it.
If you copy me on the changes, I can get the draft updated, maybe give it a first reading at the next regular meeting.
Yeah.
We have time to do that.
But you just have to set a committee, like, it's kind of like a work session, right?
Agree with it, yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about it.
yeah.
Were there a lot of updates that we were looking to?
It's more so looking at whether we continue with the sick time policy or move everything to paid time off. Right now, there's administrative requirements to tracking hours worked and all those things, and it doesn't really make sense to continue going that route. The one recommendation that I would recommend, that I think would help as a village, as we move forward, current handbook has it stated that full-time employees don't get paid for holidays for 6 months. I think that's a little excessive. I would prefer that be, if they're hired as a full-time employee, in my mind, they should be eligible for paid holidays. I think there was right now maternity leave is referenced, but it was a recommendation to change it to parental leave. And then I'll leave council to decide whether that'll be partially paid or unpaid, based on their feelings. And Councilman Amstutz has some input on that as well. I'm sure he's happy to share with the committee when the time comes, and you all can work through those things. But that's basically the premise of it. Just more so just cleaning up some things, nothing crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else for other? Would you like that referenced in the work session for Monday next week?
I think it'll only be us three here, or four, so probably not.
Okay.
You can call a full council
Yeah.
work session if you want, Josh.
If you want to just go get through it, I mean, it's up to you. I just recommend if you miss next week, then you're into the following council meeting again. And it's
Yeah.
just gonna keep, I'm not telling council what to do, but if you want to work on it, I would recommend next week just to spend 30 minutes on it. I don't think it'll take too long.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is that
Guys all right
okay?
with that?
Man, I'm fine. We'll just change that to a complete council
Please,
work session.
yeah. And I'll send out that, my apologies for that. I'll send out to everyone.
Okay,
You all can work through it.
that's fine.
And don't be afraid to rip up whatever I did. I mean, it's just things I put together, right? It's all good. Alright.
Well, I mean, I definitely think there needs to be some changes with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a paid holiday for sure.
Alright. Alright, anything else for other? Get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Blue,
Yay.
Canton,
Yay.
Van,
Yes.
Amstutz, Buckman.
It'd be interesting to see if Juneteenth survives